What's up, everybody? This is FitSpaz Recovery, and I am your host, Paul, the producer. And this show is all about helping you get fit, get healthy, and stay sober. A lot on my mind this week, and I don't have like a set agenda today. Quite a bit is just like a jumbled gobbledygook of everything that's been going on. I have a lot on my mind politically, which doesn't necessarily relate to this show, but my back this past week has still been a little wonky. I'm not too happy about that, but I'm a little bit agitated by that, but I'm still exercising a lot of patience, which is good. I have decided that I don't necessarily have control over it beyond the things that I do have control over. So to mend my back, I'm taking extra time off. I'm trying to be smart about relief, trying to not overexert myself. If I am exercising, I'm trying to be properly warmed up. And it's frustrating, but food is my medicine, rest is my medicine, relief, stretching, getting the blood flowing. Like I said, I've been focusing on calm and relaxation in my meditation, and it helps in every aspect of life. I try to focus on being relaxed. That's something I brought into my life more from Kung Fu, and it's something that takes heavy precedence in my heavy precedent? Whatever. It's a priority in my meditation, okay? So I'm still working out, and I'm thinking about a game plan. I'm in the last phase of this heavy workout I'm doing, and it seems like every time I do some legs, it sort of re-irritates my back. So I'm like, how am I going to get better? What am I going to do? I'll probably have more trips to the chiropractor, and on top of that, I'm thinking that I will change my pattern up. At the end of this month, I'm going to something called the Beachbody Summit in Nashville, Tennessee. And when I do that, afterwards, I'm going to make it a point to very much change up my routine. How? I'm going to, I think I'm going to do this 21-day special eating program that is basically like to detoxify the body. I've heard a great deal about how this program, I want to say it's called 21 Day Fix or 21 Day Refresh or something. I don't remember the name. But it's like a total change in diet. And I'm hoping from doing that that I'm going to sort of optimize my body's healing mechanisms and detoxify my body, get out all the free radicals, and probably optimize my inflammatory system so that my body has a healthy response to stressful exercise and things of this nature. And I think it would probably be good to do something like that once a year. I've been hitting it so extremely hard with exercise for quite a while now that I think my body could benefit from that. So I'll probably cut out 99% of processed foods, a ton of animal products that I think are inflammatory, a lot of cheese, all these things, and just get my body hopefully working in an optimal way and really feel the difference. So we'll see. I will certainly keep you guys updated on that. And yeah, that's the plan. And after that, rather than jumping back into traditional weightlifting, I'll probably try something different. I'm not quite sure what yet. As long as it keeps my muscles, my muscle mass on my body and keeps me healthy, that's what I'm into. It may either be 22 minute hardcore, or it may be P90X3, one of those. I really like those, and it would be really nice to say that I got through them. I've done a few workouts from each one here and there, but I've never just gone through the whole program. And I like about a half an hour a day of exercise, something that really hits you hard. But it's like that's just the right amount of time for me to get my head around it, do something hard, and that's about the amount of time I want to put into it. But anyway, onward, Serini. What's next? That's my last name, in case you guys didn't know that. Yes. Here's something interesting, all right? So I often talk about addiction issues on here. I talk a lot about emotional things that tie into aspects of addiction, and I'm about 18 and a half months without a drink of alcohol and without smoking marijuana. Marijuana certainly being the predominant drug of choice for me. But other than that, Bringing that up for me, and bringing that up right now. Why? Yeah, so addiction issues, all that jazz. I like to talk about those things. Because I think I might have some common experience or some insight into those things that may help people maintain their sobriety. And as far as getting sober, I've noticed that's kind of like something very difficult. I recognize there are a lot of people out there with substance abuse problems. I've seen them, I've met them, and I try to offer encouraging words. I try to sober up, to clean up, to realize, to give them the set of beliefs that they can change things if they want to change things. And some people are in deeper than others, of course. And so I like to give them optimism, but sometimes I get frustrated because I don't have the magic words I want to like be able to pop somebody's mind into an epiphany. Like, to me, it came down to a moment, which I've shared on here before. December 12th, 2015, that was my sister's birthday, and I was out with my family. My daughter was there, and I tied one on. I got really drunk, and I call being drunk and hungover sledgehammer brain, because like I'm paying for it emotionally for days. So I remember, I want to say that was a Tuesday for some reason, and I seem to recall, maybe I'm wrong, I'd have to look that up, but on Thursday, I was just in the shower feeling low as hell. And of course, those prior days, maybe it wasn't actually a Tuesday, because now I'm remembering my daughter was with me and she wouldn't be with me on a Tuesday. So I don't remember what the day was. That's irrelevant. My point is that I was continuing to smoke, which I didn't do when I had my daughter. That's why I think it was probably a Saturday when I did that. I don't know. And so Thursday, I was just like, ugh. I had that moment in the shower. It comes down to a moment for me where it's like, wow, this is the moment I decide to hang it up for a while. And it was a conscious decision at that point to both quit smoking and quit drinking, because I was just emotionally wiped out and sick of it. Like, when you go for years and years and years, I think you're withdrawing all of your body's natural ability to just feel good. Like, you're not letting yourself get to a healthy median emotional level where you just deal with things kind of evenly. I mean, my mood was all over the place, but sledgehammer brain, right? Like the feeling I have when I'm hungover, and it's not just the hangover being like, oh, I drank last night. It can be days later after the initial hangover is finished. My mind is not recuperated. My mind is just out of whack. So I decided to quit, and not easy. I recall, December 12th, that day that I was at my sister's house, or at my sister's birthday party, drinking, tying one on, and then 13 days later, my sister was having a a holiday party with our several people in our extended family, and people were drinking wine there. And I recall very vividly how extremely hard it was not to have a glass of wine on that night, especially because I had quit smoking too. So I was right in the initial first couple weeks where I think it is the hardest time period of all, when you're letting these things go and stopping to just maintain that. And I was very tempted. I felt this very strong pull, smelling it, people drinking it, it being right there in abundance, wine, wine, wine. And I drink wine for the buzz. I do love the taste, but ever since I was young, my dad used to say, you shouldn't drink to get drunk. And that in principle is absolutely correct. But I had this brash attitude. I was just like, whatever, then what's the point? Of course I drink to get drunk. I'm all about the buzz. I lived to be high and drunk all the time and try other things too. You know what I mean? Just the young mind. It's amazing how the young mind is geared toward that. You're cool if you do this. You fit in with these people if you do that. But very tempting. I'm just amazed, and I'm pleased that I made it through that party without having a drink, because that would have, especially in those early stages of not smoking, would have triggered my mind hard to smoke. And the whole point for me was to really give sobriety a shot. And I'm pleased to say that I've been successful knock on wood, I've been successful for about 18 and a half months. 18 months, 20 days. In 10 more days, it'll be 19 months. So, and yeah, it's like, I really think from that experience, I understand addiction, and it's such, I've said it before. I can't remember if I said this on here, but feeding your addiction is like feeding a demon. And it doesn't even matter what the addiction is. It could be biting your nails. But in my case, it was drinking and smoking. And whatever your poison is, when you feed into that addiction, you're actually making that demon stronger. You're chasing a high you can't quite as much reach as when you first started smoking, or when your tolerance is low, or when you first started getting high on whatever it is. And that demon gets stronger. But what I've noticed is over time, prolonged sobriety, being committed to prolonged sobriety, that control, the control ratio to being out of control, I do think starts to fall into your advantage. That doesn't mean you can go back to smoking or drinking recreationally and be like, hey, I have control. The whole idea of that first step of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Marijuana Anonymous is admitting you don't have control. And that to me means that, yeah, okay, so I could smoke a joint today, and maybe I don't have another joint for a week, 2 weeks, a month, but I've inserted that little bit into my brain, and I'll fall all the way back to it at some point where it's daily again. And it'll be like that until I reach my wit's end again. So indulging a tiny little bit for me and then quitting and being like, okay, I'm done, it's not possible. I have to fall all the way back, and it's like you have to fall back to rock bottom. So that's the sense in which we don't have control. But on a practical level, like I was saying, I think when you feed those temptations zero, that tendency in your mind, the obsession to want to do it all the time, does dissipate. But it does still flirt with me, and that's the addictive mind. That's like having that experience of indulging, and it's just always there, sort of like a seductive flirtation in your head. Like my friend Howard called it, romanticizing you with the using and stuff. A great way to phrase it, by the way. So just let me illustrate something funny. With regard to a lot of marijuana addicts, for example, they will get mad when you say marijuana is addictive. And my point is, I certainly do think it's addictive. And I hate saying that, because it's like, I know how reactionary and mean and hateful some people can be to that. But let me illustrate why people think, or people might be in denial who say that. I think they are in denial. But like, so I mentioned nail biting earlier. I used to be like a chronic nail biter, okay? So nail biting, not addictive like shooting up on heroin chemically or whatever, but there's something about it that was so compelling that it was extremely hard for me to quit that habit, which I haven't done also. It's been way over a year on that too. Probably quit that 2 or 3 months after quitting drinking and smoking. And it's really nice to have rid myself of that nervous habit, but not addictive, right? But it sure feels addictive to my mind. Having such a nervous habit being ingrained in you, I think it fits the definition of addiction, whether we're talking about a chemical compulsion or not. So another thing, this part's kind of funny, and I've been thinking about this because I started watching a show a little bit on Hulu. I thought, oh, this is interesting. It's called Strange Addictions. And so they go and they profile people about their strange addictions. And it's not like they go and say, oh, you're addicted to cocaine, we're talking to you. No. Okay, so let me give you an example. These are funny, okay? It's not funny because these people are doing things that are extremely bad, and it highlights how I think OCD, or obsessive compulsive disorder, can push you into doing things that are just way out of the norm. And this guy was addicted to eating plastic bags. I'm not even kidding. He would eat plastic bags. What kind of plastic bags? It seems to me like any plastic bag. So he would drive around the neighborhood and be like, hey, there's a plastic bag on a newspaper there. I'm going to take that plastic bag, because those plastic bags were his favorite. He's like, I'm going to eat those. and they show him eating these plastic bags, chewing on them, eating them, and so forth. And I'm like, wow, dude, that's amazing. So he's comparing the different kinds of plastic bags, garbage bags, the bags you get at the grocery store. He's going through the line in the grocery store. She's like, do you want paper or plastic? He's like, plastic, yo. Because he wants to eat the plastic bags. And so extremely very strange. He's comparing the texture, the way he can eat these bags, like the ones you put fruit in when you buy fruit or vegetables. All the different kinds of plastic bags this guy eats. And somehow he managed in this show to have a fiance and convince a woman to marry him. And the arguments would go something like this. He'd be like, yo, I'm addicted to plastic bags, yo. and she'd be like, dude, I don't think you should do that. And at our wedding, I don't want you eating plastic bags. Have you thought about me? Have you thought about how embarrassed I will be if you're eating plastic bags at our wedding? And he's like, yo, just cause we're getting married doesn't mean you can control me. It's my business if I eat plastic bags. and the guy is never hungry because he's eating plastic bags. So he's like filling up on plastic bags, and they'll be like, hey, dinner time. He's like, yo, I'm not hungry because I ate a plastic bag. And I can't believe that fills him up. So this guy's going to the doctor, and the doctor's like, dude, you need to stop. You can't eat. Like, the doctor's funny because she has this look on her face like, you eat plastic bags, and she's smiling like she's trying not to laugh because this is obviously serious, but it's a humorous element, especially the way he acts about it. When someone says, I'm addicted to eating plastic bags, you're like, wait, what did you say? So the doctor's like, you got to stop. This could cause liver damage. You could have an obstruction in your intestine and you could die. And he's like, big deal, right? Eating plastic bags. That's an example of an addiction that makes no sense, but someone has developed that addiction. So let's say marijuana is not addictive, and yet people do get addicted to it. How does that happen? Oh, well, you're not really addicted if it's not addictive, then no matter how much you do it, you're not really addicted. And then you tell them, well, why don't you stop then? And then they have the excuse, well, because I like it, because I enjoy it. I'm imitating a friend of mine. I'm like, you should stop smoking. He's like, but why? I enjoy it. Maybe if my friend's watching, he knows who he is. I won't say, but I love that person. Just so you know, I'm not making fun of him. I'm just being silly. Another woman in this show, okay? Speaking of addictions, wacky addictions. This poor young woman seems kind of like a person with a good heart, but I don't know how you fall into this. There's some kind of underlying anxiety or emotional trauma that went on. Just like when we talk about addiction traditionally with drugs and stuff, why else would somebody be eating plastic bags unless something weird happened? And I can't explain it. Like, what happened in your life, dude, to make you want to eat plastic bags? A little molestation, or somebody beat you up, or abandonment issues? I don't know. This other young woman, like I was saying, was addicted to eating, mattresses. What do you mean mattresses? What I mean is, like the squishy foam in a mattress? She would dig into the mattress and she would pull out like a size of that foam mattress like this and eat that stuff. I almost said the real S word. She would eat that stuff like 3 times a day. Since she started doing this, she has eaten 11 mattresses. And she was consuming her mom's mattress, and she's hiding it from her mom. So it's like you replace that behavior with a drug, and people are like, oh, you're addicted to a drug. There's no dispute here. Of course, you need an intervention, but eating a mattress, it's like, so it doesn't even have to be a drug. It's a quirk in your personality, something emotional, stressful, some anxiety that drove you to develop this very strange habit. And I don't know what it is, but so this she goes to the doctor, and it's almost like the dude eating. It was almost like an identical story. You just replace the fact that the other dude's eating plastic and this lady plastic bags. clarify, plastic bags. He's not just like chowing down on a plastic mug. He's eating plastic bags. But so you just replace that with mattresses, and this woman has an exact similar kind of issue. Okay? Makes no sense to me, but it really highlights the complexity of the human personality. And what I would say is an activity doesn't necessarily have to be addictive in the traditional sense for someone to get so hooked on it habitually that you can just say it's addictive. And the whole definition of that fits, in my opinion, especially with the negative connotation when it comes to what addiction is. Okay, but let me continue about what I was saying. So like she's addicted to eating mattresses. She goes to the doctor. The doctor says the same thing. Like, you know what's funny? This poor girl, she would go potty, and the mattress would come out the other end undigested, just like as it was when she swallowed it. And she's like, yo, if I needed, and she says they're like, that's how they talk. They're like, yo. She's like, if I couldn't go to my mom's room and get mattresses, I could just take that out of the toilet, wash it off, and eat it again. And so nobody is in a position to say that mattress is not addictive, because it's your personality that can practically make anything addictive. There was another woman on there, and I almost saw where the root of this silly problem came from. This other woman goes to she buys makeup compacts, so like blush and base and eyeliner and all that jazz in the powdered form. She will go into the grocery store and she'll taste it with her tongue. So imagine this crazy woman's licking this stuff. I don't like the taste of this makeup, and she will put it back and be like, oh, I like the taste of this one. So she's eating like 15 to 20 to 30 makeup compacts a day. And she's been doing this for years and years and years and years. And she already had like heart disease determined by the doctor when she was 12. And so, of course, she goes to the doctor, and so he's like, why are you doing this? There's something underlying why you're doing this. So she's like sitting at a table eating chocolate donuts with her mom. And the story comes out right then. She's telling her mom at that moment, she's coming out to her sister and her mom because she's hid this habit of eating makeup from them. She's like, I eat makeup, yo. And there I go again, yo. I eat makeup, yo. And they're like, what? Why do you eat makeup? And while they're doing this, while they're having this discussion, while she's telling her parents this, it's revealed in the story that from a young age, her mom likes to put baby powder on food and eat it. So she got this idea as a young kid to try eating stuff because her mom was putting baby powder on food and eating it. And so while they're eating the chocolate donuts, listen to me. This is really interesting. While they're eating the chocolate donuts, they're putting the baby powder on the chocolate donuts like it's powdered sugar, but it's not. It's baby powder. So people addicted to marijuana who want to get all up in arms and violent about and mean and hateful about saying marijuana is not addictive. If I mean, the way it changes your mind, the state of mind you get into when you're doing a drug, it's okay. So maybe there's not that chemical additive in there that like compels you, but let me tell you something. The plastic, the mattress eating, the plastic bag eating, the mattress eating, and the eating of makeup compacts proves that people, you know, whatever their quirk is, you can become addicted to anything. People can be so nervous that they have to scratch an itch, okay? And they're so into that they just keep going and bite, and then, you know, the top layer of their skin's gone, and then they're digging down deeper little by little, and all the next thing you know, they're down in their muscle, but they can't stop, and that shit's getting infected, and they're like, holy cow, I'm going, and I'm addicted to this, and it's horrible, and I can't stop. Maybe I should tell somebody and go to the doctor, and maybe I should stop hiding it under my sweater, and yeah. Why am I scratching my... Oh, no reason. I just... my muscle's sore. Yeah. And they keep going and going. People can get addicted to anything. So when you want to sit there on your self-righteous high horse and be like, I'm not addicted, when all you do is sit and do something all day, all I'm doing is saying, hey, stupid, because I care, I'm calling you stupid. Wake up for a second and recognize exactly what you're doing. Because it's beyond absurd the way people are willing and able to delude themselves. Like, of course you're addicted. You're eating a plastic bag, dude. Of course you should quit. At the end of the show, they have the update and they're like, he's no longer engaged to his girlfriend. They broke up. And it's like, oh, you're embarrassed. He might eat plastic bags at your wedding. But what about for your whole life, honey? And I'm like, how does he get with somebody eating plastic bags? Wouldn't that be your clue? It's like, red flag. I eat plastic bags. I think it's more unnerving and disturbing that someone would fall into a habit like that than the regular drug stuff. Because you don't hang out with people and eat plastic bags. There's no social pressure to eat a plastic bag. Good grief. I'm making a lot of great points today. Have you noticed? I've certainly noticed. And the topical matter is so interesting that it just makes my job here so easy. You're welcome. Yes. My goodness. Does anyone have feedback? Because I'm going to start wrapping this up. Yo. Yo, there it is again. Yo. This is FitSpaz Recovery, and I am Paul, the producer. I am coming at you today on Tuesday, and I think that's going to be the regular schedule for the next couple months at least until my daughter goes back to school, because she's coming to me on Wednesdays, and I don't want to spend my time doing this while she's with me. Although maybe I'll get ambitious sometime when she's with me and do one, because it might be interesting to have her in there once in a while I do these things. It might just be interesting. I don't know. Different. Something different. I've gotten an email back from a fella at Recovery Elevator, and it's about scheduling an interview. So when that happens, I will let you guys know. And I'm trying to get one on, is it the Recovery Podcast? I don't know what the name of the other one is, but I just think I have something interesting to add to their that I might be able to offer their audience as far as my own experience. So I'm going to go on those and see what materializes. And I want to thank Kevin MacLeod, because he's the guy who provides the amazing, awesome music that plays in the background of this show. I love it. Makes me feel elevated as a producer to have such great stuff playing behind me. I appreciate that. You can find out more about him by going to incompetech.com. As I said, this is FitSpaz Recovery, and if you want to learn more about this program, you can go to fitspaz.com. You can send feedback to paul@fitspaz.com. Don't be hating, because if you're hating, I will not be responding to you. What I do want to say, though, is if you want to follow on social media or see the videos of this recording, you can go to fitspaz.com and find it all there. Twitter, YouTube, my Facebook page, everything, all of it. You can even add me as a friend on Facebook if you want. I don't care, okay? Let's do that. And I want you to consider getting involved in fitness and letting me help you do so, okay? I want to build a team of people who are interested in getting fit and healthy and perhaps building a business. So all that being said, let me start this over one more time, just because. It's because I feel like it. Because I feel like it, yo. Anyway, this is FitSpaz Recovery, and I'm going to let you go now. It's been a full 29 minutes, and you've had enough of me for this week. Wow, this is like number 49. I think next week is going to be 50. I've been doing this almost a year now. Holy mackerel, can you believe that? This may have something good to offer people. This was an interesting podcast. It was like a super snowflake. And I'll let you go now, everybody. Have a nice week in the meanwhile. Peace. Hypocritically, dishonestly, not to make light of people who have a very unusual problem like eating plastic bags or makeup or mattresses. I just feel tempted to go upstairs right now and eat a plastic bag mattress makeup sandwich, and that's all I have to say for that right now. You're supposed to laugh at that, but I do hope those people quit doing that because it's not good for them.